Welcome back to my channel. The tribal chief has taken the investigation into his own hands. In a stunning backstage confrontation, Roman Reigns just told Adam Pearce exactly who the mystery attacker was, and the name is set to shake the wrestling world to its very core. Subscribe right now because the secret is out, and you need to hear it straight from Roman himself, as the hunt for the Survivor Series saboteur has become the most explosive and talked about topic in all of WWE, with rumors spreading like wildfire, accusations flying in every direction, and wild theories dominating every corner of social media and the locker room itself. While names like Austin Theory and shadowy financial backers were floated as possible culprits, the real identity of the man behind the mask remained the company's most tightly guarded secret until tonight, when in the raw, unscripted chaos of the backstage area, Roman Reigns decided that enough was enough and that the era of slow, corporate investigation had officially come to an end, choosing instead to deliver the truth personally and directly to WWE official Adam Pearce. A moment captured in exclusive footage that is already being called one of the most chilling reveals in recent memory, because for Roman Reigns, the biggest problem was never a lack of suspects, but the suffocating delay caused by bureaucracy, with official investigations moving at a sluggish pace, bound by paperwork, evidence, and procedural caution, while Roman's empire, his so-called kingdom, was built on immediate action, ruthless efficiency, and unquestioned authority, and with trust within his inner circle breaking down, paranoia spreading through the locker room, and everyone whispering behind everyone else's back, he could no longer afford to sit back and wait for Pearce's careful process to run its course. He needed to force the issue, plant the name into the mind of the one man who had the power to authorize official action, and let the shockwaves ripple across the entire industry. And the footage itself, though shaky and clearly recorded from a distance on a phone, leaves no doubt about what was said because, while the visuals are grainy, the audio is frighteningly clear, showing Roman Reigns cornering Adam Pearce near the production offices with a posture that radiates dominance and a tone that makes it clear he is not there to negotiate, as Roman coldly tells him that he is searching in the wrong places, dismissing Pearce's insistence that the investigation is proceeding by the book, cutting him off with irritation and saying that the book is wrong and that he will give him the real chapter, explaining that the man who climbed the cage, who mimicked Seth Rollins' move perfectly, who took out CM Punk with surgical precision, was not some hired mercenary acting for money, but a true believer driven by a twisted sense of purpose, someone who did it not for a paycheck but for chaos itself, and as Pearce, visibly shaken, demands a name he can actually act on, Roman leans in so close that the tension becomes almost unbearable and drops the bombshell that detonates the entire storyline in an instant, revealing that it was Jon Moxley, and not only that, but that Moxley was not hired, he was inspired, before turning away and leaving a stunned Pearce frozen in disbelief, staring into the distance as if his entire understanding of the situation has just been obliterated, because this single statement functions like a nuclear strike in the middle of WWE's ongoing narrative, accusing one of AEW's biggest and most dangerous stars of being the physical attacker is not just shocking. It is unprecedented. It tears open the so-called forbidden door not for a dream match or friendly crossover, but for a declaration of war between wrestling's two biggest promotions, and Roman's phrasing is what makes it even more terrifying, because saying that Moxley was inspired rather than hired suggests something far deeper than a simple contract or financial incentive. It implies ideology, belief, and a shared hunger for destruction, which completely reframes everything fans thought they knew about the attack, turning it from a mystery of profit into a story of conviction and vengeance. And immediately the wrestling world was thrown into chaos as fans, analysts, and even wrestlers themselves began to question how far the story was truly going to go and whether WWE was prepared to push its most daring narrative gamble in history all the way to the edge. With the idea of AEW's Jon Moxley being named as the attacker against CM Punk sending shockwaves through both fan bases and lighting up timelines with speculation about lawsuits, collaborations, secret deals, and behind-the-scenes negotiations that may have been brewing for months, because something this bold does not happen by accident, and Roman Reigns clearly knew the magnitude of what he was unleashing when he chose to speak that name aloud, knowing full well that once the words left his mouth there would be no going back, no quiet resolution, no subtle cleanup, only escalation, confrontation, and the very real possibility that the walls separating WWE and AEW are no longer as solid as they once seemed, and the reactions inside the locker room were reportedly immediate and intense, with some wrestlers stunned into silence, others openly questioning whether this was part of a larger long-term plan, and a few privately expressing concern that the line between storyline and reality was being dangerously blurred, especially given Moxley's real-life history with WWE, his turbulent departure, his reinvention in AEW, and his reputation as one of the most unhinged and unpredictable fighters in the modern era. A man who thrives on violence, chaos, and pushing boundaries, making Roman's accusation feel not just shocking but disturbingly plausible within the fictional framework of wrestling storytelling. And as word of the confrontation spread, sources backstage described Adam Pearce as being under immense pressure, caught between corporate protocol and the overwhelming gravity of Roman's declaration. Knowing that acknowledging such an accusation, even within storyline context, could trigger seismic reactions from networks, sponsors, and executives on both sides, because invoking a rival company's top star as an active participant in WWE violence is not merely bold storytelling, it is a potential business nightmare if mishandled. Yet that is precisely why fans are so captivated, because it feels dangerous, unpredictable, and completely untethered from the safe formulas that have defined so much of modern sports entertainment. And Roman Reigns, standing at the center of it all, once again, proves why he is referred to as the Tribal Chief, not just for his dominance in the ring but for his ability to command the narrative itself, bending the entire universe around his will, as he effectively hijacks the investigation, ends the guessing game with one devastating sentence, and forces the company's hand in a way that only he can. While CM Punk's name continues to loom over the entire situation like a storm cloud, because as the victim of the attack and a man with his own complicated history with both WWE and AEW, Punk now finds himself at the center of a storyline that threatens to rewrite the boundaries of the industry, and many are already speculating about how he will respond once he fully processes Roman's claim, with some suggesting that Punk will demand proof, others believing he will take Roman at his word and seek vengeance regardless of the consequences.